The crystal tumbler trembles in my hand as I watch her through the library's towering windows. Rain streaks the glass like tears, but Sophia isn't crying, she's arguing with someone on the phone, her free hand gesturing wildly as she paces the garden terrace below. You can't keep hiding from her forever, Alexander. My stepmother's voice cuts through my reverie, and I don't turn around. Margaret's heels click against the marble floor as she approaches, carrying that particular scent of Chanel and disappointment that's become her signature since marrying my father 6 months ago. I'm not hiding. The light tastes bitter against the bourbon. I'm working. At midnight, in a darkened library, her reflection appears beside mine in the window. She's been here for 3 weeks. You've said perhaps 10 words to her. Below us, Sophia ends her call with enough force that I can see her phone's screen go dark. From 3 stories up, she stands there for a moment, shoulders rigid, face tilted toward the sky as rain begins to fall harder. Something twists in my chest, an unwelcome recognition of pain I know too well. She doesn't belong here, I say, but the words lack conviction. Neither did I. Once, Margaret's voice softens. Your father sees something in both of us, Alexander. Perhaps you should trust his judgment. I finally turn to face her, this woman who somehow convinced my father to love again after 20 years of determined solitude. She's elegant in that effortless way that money can't buy, the way Sophia is, too, though she hides it behind ripped jeans and defiant silences. What do you want from me? Civility. She's lost, Alexander. Her mother remarried when she was 16, sent her to boarding school in Switzerland. Now she's 23, her mother's gone, and she's trying to figure out where she fits in a world that's never felt like home. The words hit like a physical blow, because I know that feeling intimately. The loneliness of growing up in a house too big for the people left in it. The weight of a name that means everything to everyone except the person carrying it. She'll be fine, I say. People like us always are. Margaret laughs, but there's no humor in it. People like us are often the most broken, Alexander. We just hide it better. Thunder rolls overhead, and I look back toward the terrace. Sophia is gone. Give her a chance, Margaret says. Give yourself one too. Her footsteps fade, leaving me alone with the storm and the memory of dark eyes that seem to see straight through every wall I've built. I drain my bourbon and head for the door, telling myself I'm going to my room, telling myself I won't check if she made it inside safely. But I know myself too well. The hallway is silent, shadows dancing from the occasional lightning flash. Her room is in the East Wing, Margaret's idea to give her privacy, though I suspect it was more about keeping us apart. Smart woman, my stepmother. She sees things others miss. I'm halfway down the corridor when I hear it, the soft sound of crying, muffled but unmistakable. It's coming from the conservatory, that glass-walled sanctuary my mother designed before she died. No one's used it in years. The door is slightly ajar, warm light spilling into the hallway. I should walk away, should respect her privacy, maintain the distance that served us both well these past weeks. Instead, I find myself pushing the door open. She's curled in my mother's old reading chair, still damp from the rain, feet tucked beneath her. The tears have stopped, but I can see their tracks on her cheeks, silver in the lamplight. She looks young, vulnerable, nothing like the sharp-tongued girl who spent 3 weeks challenging my father at dinner and rolling her eyes at my careful politeness. The door was open, I say, because I need to say something. She doesn't startle, doesn't try to hide the evidence of her tears, just looks at me with those impossibly dark eyes and says, "Your mother had good taste." I follow her gaze to the botanical prints lining the walls, the carefully arranged furniture that no one's disturbed in 15 years. She did. Margaret told me about her, about the garden, about this room. Sophia uncurls from the chair, and I notice she's holding something, a leather-bound journal, worn smooth by years of handling. I found this tucked behind the cushion. I wasn't snooping. That's hers, I say, and my voice comes out rougher than intended. She nods, holding it out like an offering. I thought you might want it. I step closer, close enough to catch her scent, rain, and something floral, something that makes my chest tight. Our fingers brush as I take the journal, and the contact sends electricity shooting up my arm. Thank you, I manage. She stands, and suddenly the space between us feels charged, dangerous. I should go, but she doesn't move. Neither do I, Sophia, don't. The word is barely a whisper. Don't apologize for avoiding me. Don't pretend this isn't complicated. The air between us crackles with everything we're not saying, everything we can't say. It is complicated, I agree. She nods, stepping past me toward the door. Close enough that I could reach out, close enough that I want to. Good night. Alexander, good night. She pauses in the doorway, looking back. For what it's worth, I don't think I belong here either. Then she's gone, leaving me alone with my mother's journal and the sudden, terrifying realization that I want her to stay. The corporate retreat is Margaret's idea weekend at the family's mountain estate. To bond as a family. What it really means is 48 hours of forced proximity with the one person I've been successfully avoiding for 2 weeks. Sophia emerges from the SUV looking like she stepped out of a magazine spread. Cream cashmere sweater, dark jeans that hug her curves, hair catching the late afternoon sun. She surveys the lodge with an expression I'm learning to recognize, careful evaluation. Disguised as casual interest, this place is incredible, she says to Margaret. But her eyes find mine across the gravel drive. Something sparks between us, quick and electric. Alexander designed the renovations Margaret offers. He has an eye for these things, does he? Sophia's voice carries that teasing note that's become dangerously familiar. How unexpected. I grab the luggage before anyone can comment on the tension radiating between us. I'll show you to your room. The lodge is smaller than our main estate, which means there's nowhere to hide. Sophia's room is directly across from mine, because apparently the universe has a sense of humor. Cozy, she observes, dropping her bag by the door. It's temporary. I set her suitcase on the bench at the foot of the bed, trying not to notice how this space suddenly feels intimate with her in it. Dinner's at 7. Alexander, I turn, and she's closer than expected. Close enough that I can see the gold flecks in her dark eyes. Are we going to keep pretending we don't exist to each other? The question hangs between us, loaded with implications. I don't know what you mean. She laughs, but there's no humor in it, right? Of course you don't. She moves toward the window, and I should leave. Should walk away before this conversation goes somewhere we can't come back from. What do you want me to say? I ask instead. I want you to be honest. She doesn't turn around. You've been watching me, Alexander. I feel it when I'm reading in the library, when I'm walking in the garden. You watch me, and then you disappear. My mouth goes dry because she's right. I have been watching her, memorizing the way she tucks her hair behind her ear. When she's concentrating, the sound of her laugh during dinner conversations I pretend not to hear. You're imagining things, am I? She turns then, and the look in her eyes makes my breath catch. Then you won't mind if I do this. She crosses the room in 3 steps, stopping just inches away. Close enough that I can feel the warmth radiating from her skin. Can smell that intoxicating scent that's been haunting my dreams. What are you doing? Testing a theory. Her voice is barely above a whisper. If you really don't care, if I really am imagining the way you look at me, then this won't affect you at all. She reaches up, her fingers barely grazing my jaw, and I have to fight every instinct not to lean into her touch. Sophia, your pulse is racing. She observes, her thumb finding the pulse point at my throat. That's interesting. I should step back, should establish boundaries before we cross a line we can never uncross. Instead, I find myself reaching up to cover her hand with mine. This is dangerous territory, I know, but she doesn't pull away. The question is, are you brave enough to explore it? We're interrupted by my father's voice in the hallway, discussing something with Margaret. Sophia steps back like she's been burned, and I let my hand fall to my side, immediately missing her warmth. Dinner, I manage, my voice rougher than I intended. She nods, smoothing her sweater with hands that aren't quite steady. Right, dinner. But neither of us moves toward the door. We stand there, breathing hard. The air between us charged with possibility and danger in equal measure. This can't happen. I say finally, I know. The family, the company, I know. Alexander. She meets my eyes, and there's something fierce in her gaze. But that doesn't change the fact that it already is happening, does it? She's right, and we both know it. Whatever this is between us, it's already spiraled beyond our Control. The careful distance I've maintained. The polite indifference sits all but a lie. As she's called me on it. After dinner, she says softly, "I'm going to take a walk by the lake. If you want to keep pretending this doesn't exist, stay inside." She moves toward the door, pausing with her hand on the handle. "But if you're ready to be honest with me and with yourself, I'll be there." The door closes behind her with a soft click, leaving me alone with the sound of my racing heartbeat and the knowledge that I'm already lost. I stare at the door for a long moment, then walk to the window overlooking the lake. The water stretches out like dark glass, surrounded by pines that whisper in the evening breeze. After dinner, she'd said, "The lake. I already know I'll be there." The lake is silver glass beneath the full moon, and she's there, just as she promised. Sophia sits on the old wooden dock, shoes discarded beside her, feet dangling in the water. She doesn't turn when she hears my footsteps, but her posture shifts, shoulders straightening, head tilting slightly. "I wasn't sure you'd come, neither was I." I settle beside her, leaving space between us that feels both necessary and tortuous. "This is insane, Sophia." "Probably." She finally looks at me, moonlight turning, her features ethereal. "But I've been thinking about what you said earlier, about this being dangerous territory. And I've spent my whole life playing it safe, following rules, being the perfect daughter, the perfect student, the perfect houseguest." Her laugh is soft, self-deprecating. "Where has it gotten me? Alone in a house full of strangers, pretending I belong somewhere I never asked to be." The pain in her voice mirrors something deep in my own chest. "You're not alone, are I?" She meets my eyes, and I see vulnerability there that takes my breath away. "My mother remarried 3 times, Alexander, each time. I learned not to get attached to the new family, because it never lasted. I learned to be polite, distant, forgettable." "You're not forgettable." The words slip out before I can stop them, raw with honesty. "No." Her voice drops to a whisper. "Then why have you been trying so hard to forget me?" I can't answer that, not without admitting truths that terrify me. Instead, I reach for safer ground. "Tell me about Switzerland." She leans back on her hands, studying the stars. "Lonely, beautiful, but lonely. I had friends, but they were the kind you make when you know you're temporary. Surface level. Safe is good." I say, "But even I don't believe it, is it?" She turns to face me fully, drawing her legs up to her chest. "You've built your whole life around safe, Alexander. The perfect son, the perfect heir. When's the last time you did something that scared you?" "I'm here, aren't I?" The admission hangs between us, loaded with implications. She searches my face, and I feel exposed, raw, like she can see straight through to the parts of me I keep hidden. "Why?" she asks softly. "Why are you here?" I stare out at the water, gathering courage I didn't know I possessed. "Because I can't stop thinking about you. Because every time I see you, you challenge me in ways I didn't think were possible. Because you make me want things I know I can't have." "What things?" I turn to meet her eyes, and the intensity in her gaze nearly undoes me. "You, this, whatever this is between us." She's quiet for so long I think I've ruined everything. Then she scoots closer, close enough that our knees touch, and the contact sends electricity through my entire body. "I've been thinking about that night in the conservatory," she says, "when you took your mother's journal. Sophia, you looked at me like you wanted to say something, like you wanted to do something." Her hand finds mine on the dock, fingers intertwining. "What would you have done if we hadn't been interrupted?" The question steals my breath. "I would have made a mistake, would you?" Her free hand comes up, to cup my cheek, thumb tracing my jawline. "Or would you have finally done something honest?" I lean into her touch despite myself, eyes closing at the tenderness in her gesture. "This is impossible. Look at me." I open my eyes to find her face inches from mine, her gaze fierce and certain. "I don't care about impossible," she whispers. "I care about this, about you, about the way you make me feel like I'm finally awake. After years of sleepwalking. Sophia, kiss me, Alexander." The words are barely a breath between us, but they hit like lightning. I know I should pull away, should think about consequences and complications. Instead, I find myself cupping her face, thumb tracing her lower lip. "If I kiss you, there's no going back." "I don't want to go back." Her eyes are liquid dark, full of want and certainty that terrifies and thrills me. I want to go forward with you. I lean in slowly, giving her time to change her mind, giving myself time to remember all the reasons this is wrong. But when our lips are almost touching, when I can feel her breath against my mouth, none of those reasons matter anymore. The kiss is soft at first, tentative, like we're both afraid of the fire we're igniting. Then she makes a small sound in the back of her throat, and I'm lost. My hand tangles in her hair as I deepen the kiss, years of want and denial pouring out between us. She tastes like starlight and promises, like everything I've been afraid to want. When we finally break apart, we're both breathing hard, foreheads pressed together. Alexander. My name is prayer on her lips. I know, I whisper back. I know. In the distance, a door slams at the lodge. Reality crashes back, sudden and cold. We should go back, I say, but I don't move, not yet. Her arms tighten around me. Please, just not yet. So we sit there in the moonlight, holding each other like we're afraid to let go, both knowing that tomorrow everything changes. The storm that hits on Sunday night traps us at the lodge for another day. Margaret calls it providence. My father grumbles about missed meetings. I call it torture, because now I know how Sophia tastes. Now I've felt her hands in my hair, heard the soft sound she makes when she kisses me back. Now I have to sit across from her at breakfast and pretend my world hasn't shifted completely off its axis. She's playing her part, perfectly polite conversation with Margaret, careful distance from me, but I catch the moments when she thinks. No one's looking, the way her gaze lingers on my hands, the flush that spreads across her chest when our eyes meet accidentally. By late afternoon, the tension is unbearable. I'm going for a walk, I announce, needing air, needing space, needing to think clearly for 5 minutes. In this weather, Margaret glances toward the windows where rain still lashes against the glass. I like storms, Sophia says quietly, rising from her chair. Mind if I join you? The question is innocent enough, but I hear the undercurrent, see the challenge in her eyes. We're playing with fire, and she knows it. Of course, I hear myself say. The covered porch wraps around the entire lodge, and we walk it in silence, listening to the rain drumming overhead. When we reach the far side, out of sight from the main windows, she stops. We can't keep doing this, I say before she can speak. Doing what? But her smile tells me she knows exactly what. Pretending, playing games, this whatever this is. Then, stop pretending. She moves closer, backing me against the porch railing. Tell me what you're thinking right now, Sophia, tell me. Her hands press against my chest, and I can feel my heart racing beneath her palms. What are you thinking, Alexander? I'm thinking that you're dangerous. The words come out rougher than intended. I'm thinking that every time I look at you, I forget why this is supposed to be wrong. And I'm thinking that I want you so badly it's driving me insane. The confession hangs between us, raw and honest. She rises on her toes, bringing her mouth close to my ear. Good, she whispers, and the single word sends fire through my veins. Because I've been going crazy too. Her lips find the pulse point below my ear, and I have to grip the railing to keep from pulling her against me. We can't do this here. Then where? She pulls back to look at me, eyes dark with want. When, Alexander, because this isn't going away. This thing between us, it's only getting stronger. She's right, and I know it. The careful distance, the polite indifference, it's all been an act, and we're both tired of performing. There's a cabin, I say, the words leaving my mouth before I can think better of them. About a mile up the trail. No one uses it in winter. Show me. The rain has gentled to a light mist. By the time we slip away from the lodge, I tell myself we're just walking, just talking, but I know better. We both do. The cabin is small, rustic, designed for summer guests who wanted to be closer to the wilderness. I unlock the door with hands that aren't quite steady, hyper-aware of Sophia behind me, of the way her breathing has changed. It's perfect, she says, stepping into the one-room space. There's a fireplace, a small kitchenette, and a bed that dominates the far wall. She doesn't comment on the bed, but I see her gaze linger there. I busy myself with starting a fire, needing something to do with my hands. When I turn around, she's standing by the window, silhouetted against the gray afternoon light. I used To dream about having a place like this, she says softly, somewhere that was just mine, somewhere I belonged. You belong here. The words surprise me with their intensity. She turns, and there are tears in her eyes. Do I, really, or is this just another temporary stop? I cross the room without conscious thought, cupping her face in my hands. You belong here, with me. I don't care how complicated it is. I don't care what anyone thinks. I want you here. Alexander, I love you. The words tumble out, 3 simple syllables that change everything. I love your strength, your fire, the way you challenge me to be better. I love the way you see through all my carefully constructed walls. I love you, and I'm tired of fighting it. She stares at me for a heartbeat, eyes wide. Then she's kissing me, fierce and desperate, like she's afraid I'll disappear. I love you too, she whispers against my lips. I've been trying not to, but I do. I love you so much it terrifies me. I lift her easily, carrying her to the bed, and she wraps her arms around my neck, trusting me completely. We fall together, onto the soft quilt, months of tension finally finding release. Are you sure? I ask, even as my hands map the curves of her body through her sweater. I've never been more sure of anything. What happens next is tender and fierce, vulnerable and consuming. We explore each other with reverent hands, whispered confessions, gasps of pleasure and surprise. She's beautiful in the firelight, golden and perfect, and when she says my name like a prayer, I know I'm lost forever. Afterward, we lie tangled together, her head on my chest, both of us trying to catch our breath. What happens now? She asks softly. I tighten my arms around her. I don't know, but I know I can't let you go. Even if it means losing everything else. I think about my father's expectations, the family business, the scandal this could cause. Then I look down at her, at this brave, beautiful woman who's turned my world upside down, and realize none of it matters, even then. But even as I say the words, I hear the distant sound of car engines on the mountain road. Reality is coming to reclaim us, whether we're ready or not. The photograph arrives on a Tuesday morning, slipped under my office door like a death sentence. It's grainy, clearly taken from a distance, but unmistakably us, Sophia and me outside the cabin. Her in my arms, my face buried in her neck. The attached note is simple, interesting family dynamics. Shame if this became public. My hands shake as I read it, not from fear, from fury. Someone has been watching us, stalking us, turning our most private moments into weapons. Alexander, Sophia's voice comes from the doorway, and I quickly shove the photo into my desk drawer. But I'm too late. She's seen my face, seen the guilt written there. What's wrong? She closes the door behind her, crosses to my desk. You look like you've seen a ghost. We need to talk. The words come out harsher than I intended, and I see her flinch. That doesn't sound good. I want to pull her into my arms, want to tell her everything will be okay. But the photograph burns in my desk drawer like evidence of our mutual destruction. Someone knows. I say simply. All the color drains from her face. Knows what? I pull out the photograph, place it on the desk between us. She stares at it for a long moment, then looks up at me with eyes full of hurt and betrayal. You think I know? The word comes out sharper than gunfire. God, no. Sophia, I would never. Then who? I don't know. But they want something, or they would have gone public already. She sinks into the chair across from my desk, suddenly looking fragile in a way that breaks my heart. What do? We end this. The words taste like ashes. Before it goes any further, before anyone gets hurt. Anyone? Her voice rises. Pain bleeding through, or just your precious reputation. The accusation hits like a physical blow. That's not what I meant, isn't it? She stands, pacing to the window. The billionaire's son can't be caught with his stepsister. What would people think? You know it's more complicated than that, do I? She whirls to face me, and there are tears in her eyes, because right now it feels pretty simple. Someone threatens exposure, and you panic. You throw me away to protect yourself. I'm trying to protect you. I don't need your protection. Alexander, I need your love. I need you to fight for us instead of looking for the nearest exit. Her words echo in the silence, full of pain and truth. She's right, I am looking for an exit, but not for the reasons she thinks. If this comes out, It will destroy you. I say quietly, the media will tear you apart. They'll call you a gold digger, a homewrecker. They'll make your life hell. So you're making that choice for me. I'm trying to spare you. Stop. She holds up a hand, and there's something fierce in her expression. Just stop, Alexander. You don't get to decide what I can handle. You don't get to sacrifice our happiness for some hypothetical disaster. It's not hypothetical. Look at the picture. I am looking at it. She moves around the desk, picks up the photograph. You know what I see? I see to people who love each other, to people who found something real in a world full of pretense. She tears the photo in half, then in half again, scattering the pieces across my desk. And I'll be damned if I let some coward with a camera destroy that. I stare at her, this brave, brilliant woman who's stronger than I am, braver than I've ever been. Sophia, I love you. She says simply, not your money, not your name, not what you can give me. I love you, the man who reads poetry in empty libraries, who still misses his mother, who builds walls to protect a heart too tender for this world. The truth of her words breaks something open in my chest. I love you too, more than I've ever loved anyone or anything. Then fight for us. She moves closer, placing her hands on my chest. Don't let them win. Don't let fear make our choices. I cover her hands with mine, looking into eyes that hold my entire future. What if we lose everything? What if we gain everything? She rises on her toes, pressing a soft kiss to my lips. What if we stop caring what other people think and start caring about what makes us happy? I think about a life without her, cold, empty, safe. Then I think about a life with her, complicated, challenging, beautiful. The choice isn't really a choice at all. Marry me, I say, the words surprising us both. She blinks. What? Marry me. Today, tomorrow. I don't care when, but marry me, Sophia. Make this official. Make it real. Make it impossible for anyone to tear apart. Alexander, I know it's crazy. I know it's fast. But I also know I want to spend my life with you, scandal or no scandal. I want to wake up next to you every morning and fall asleep holding you every night. I want to build something with you that's ours, that no one can touch. She stares at me for a heartbeat, then throws her arms around my neck. Yes, she whispers against my ear. Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. I lift her off her feet, spinning her around my office, both of us laughing like children. When I set her down, she's crying, but they're happy tears now. What about the blackmailer? Let them come, I say, surprising myself with how much I mean it. Let them do their worst. We'll face it together, together, she agrees. And the word sounds like a promise. We're interrupted by a knock on the door, my father's voice, calling my name. We look at each other, and I see my own determination reflected in her eyes. Together, I repeat, taking her hand. We open the door to face whatever comes next, but we face it as one. And for the first time in my life, I'm not afraid of the future. I'm excited by it. Because love, real love, is worth fighting for, worth risking everything for. And I've finally found mine.